I think if you look at the track today at IAB and the number of sessions that are talking about measurement and how this is still a major problem, I think that's evident. In addition, there was a recent study that was released by MMA that talked about 48% of marketers are really kind of state that tracking and measurement is a major problem to them and something they're trying to solve. The good news is we're starting to see a standard now appear in mobile, which is really, really exciting. I mean, it's great to see Verizon is talking about some of those different areas, and they're going to delve into a little bit more depth on some of them. But we're now starting to see consistent approaches in how you basically measure in mobile, and importantly, you're able to track conversion events back to a kind of click, which is really kind of how you're then able to calculate an ROI. So first off, we have device IDs. So by this, I mean sort of unique identifiers that the manufacturer applies. So in Apple's case, that's the identifier for advertisers, and Google have something similar released as well. What this is really great at is in terms of high accuracy. You know 100% when you're able to get hold of a device ID that that person absolutely did that action. But it's very narrow in terms of reach. You're only able to use that device ID within an app environment, and only when the media partner that you're advertising with is able to surface that up and share that with you as well. So it's not always 100% of the time. So device IDs is most accurate, but limits you on terms of reach on your campaign and where you can be running your advertising. Referral methodologies, like similar to using the web today, you can actually use in Android, in the Android ecosystem. Google's enabled that for everyone, which is fantastic. So it's a super reliable methodology that means you can have really good tracking in terms of how your campaign's performing. One of the challenges with it is it works on the last click, and that can be the last click within the store. So if someone clicks on an ad, lands in the Google Play Store, and then maybe searches for a similar app, and that person sort of performs that action and then goes back to your original application and then installs, actually it's going to be that search query that comes through in the referral string rather than your originating ad. So again, you've kind of lost out there on conversion and attribution that would have led to better performance. And then you have device recognition technologies, of which AdTruth is one, that's available in the market. And what this really allows is a ubiquitous methodology that you can track across any type of media source to then enable you to kind of measure up and calculate that ROI. The challenge with it is, it's probabilistic. It's reliant upon an algorithm that's calculating out of all the various elements of your device, be that the different elements of the IP, your browser headers, your settings, what time is on your device, etc. All these different kind of non-PII elements. It really kind of helps create a profile of that user, but you're kind of using a best estimate that's that user you then see later on when you convert. So there's an inherent error rate built into that. However, it does give you that ubiquitous reach and allows you to measure things like mobile web when you're trying to measure app conversions, which is really kind of key. And then finally, you have cookie, which is essentially very, very limited if you're trying to track an app user journey. But within the mobile web world is, again, something that you can kind of use within there. So again, it's kind of reasonably accurate, but very low in terms of reach and what you're able to get. So there isn't really one solution that kind of does everything. And the best method that's open to marketers today is to find technology that basically leverages across all these different areas and basically uses a device ID when that's available, uses referral when that's available, device recognition when actually all these other areas haven't necessarily worked out. And by combining those different areas, you're really able to extend your campaign and get as much tracking and visibility on how your performance is working.